On Every Main Street is a weekly program that takes a deeper look into the greater Lehigh Valley small, medium, and large businesses that might be found on every Main Street. Tonight, join me, Greg Caponia, as we invite WDIY listeners to learn more about the entrepreneurs with great ideas serving the communities in which we live. Welcome back to On Every Main Street, and welcome to Allyson Pors-Boitz. Allyson is the Executive Director of Community Options in the Lehigh Valley. They have a fun event coming up called the Cupids Chase 5K. I've run the Cupids Chase 5K. It's a terrific chance to get out there and run in some chilly weather. But first, Allyson, welcome.
Thank you.
And let's talk about Community Options. Explain the type of great work being done at Community Options.
So Community Options is a national nonprofit organization. We operate in 11 states now, and I oversee the Lehigh Valley region, like you mentioned. We support individuals with intellectual disabilities. We help them find residential housing and employment in our community. And, we try to promote independence as much as possible, integrate our individuals so that they can live everyday lives just like we do. And we just started operating in Iowa. There was a state institution there, and, they're looking to close the doors. So, we've already moved some of those folks out into residential homes. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we did here in Allentown, with Allentown State Hospital and some of the other institutions that were once running, for example, Pennhurst. And individuals were awfully mistreated there. So it's really great to see our folks just integrated into the community.
So, Allyson, you're passionate about Community Options. How did you get involved with the organization?
Well, I've been in this field. I've been in the field of working with individuals with intellectual disabilities for 23 years. Community Options kind of just came to me, and I obliged, and I've been here 4.5 years, and it's just been so rewarding. I did day supports in the past, which we do offer as well, community participation supports, just to aid individuals in job training and in volunteering in our community.
What do you like about your job?
I love seeing the individuals we support happy, healthy, smiling, and to be honest with you, I like chaos. It's a 24-hour job, and it's also a very thankless profession, and I really appreciate my employees.
You can see the pride of the folks at Lehigh Valley Community Options when you interact with them. There's a lot of pride with the employees and also, and especially, the people that you're helping.
Yes.
Can you give me an example or tell me a story about maybe a person or a group of people that you've assisted and one that makes you feel good?
Well, we have a home in Allentown with 2 women that live there, and we decided to start implementing some technology in our homes to aid in individuals' independence. So, for example, we have, door sensors, Ring doorbells, Amazon Echoes, mm-hmm. And it just stove sensor. So if an individual leaves the stove on for, 10 or 15 minutes, they will get a phone call to remind them to turn the stove off. So I did a presentation on this particular home, and I had one of the individuals assist me in this presentation. And she was just so passionate about it and so excited to gain more independence within her home. And it was just, that was a winning moment.
That's terrific. A sensor that tells a person how to, or that their stove is still on, I think is something that we can all use.
Yes.
How are you funded?
So we are funded by the state of Pennsylvania, and waiver funding. And we also rely on our donations from community members, just like you all do at WDIY.
Is Pennsylvania a state that offers enough money for the work that you do?
Well, I think it's a national crisis, but particularly in the state of Pennsylvania, our individuals, our employees' wages are not where they should be, in my opinion. We work a lot with state legislators and senators to try to advocate for our DSPs, their direct support professionals.
Are there any other sources of income that you can tap into?
Well, we do receive grants at times. I know I mentioned the smart home technology. We did receive a grant to implement some of that. So grants do help us as well.
Let's say you have a friend or a relative who could use some assistance. What's the process?
Well, not an easy process, to be honest. Everybody that lives in our homes and receives our services have waivers through the state of Pennsylvania, so they're funded. To receive a waiver is very difficult, and my number one recommendation would be to start early. If you have a child or a family member with disabilities, it has to start while they're still in school. And hopefully then when they graduate, they can receive the funding they need.
Do people usually have access to counselors prior to visiting with you, or should they call you for advice? Let's say they have a student who they know might need some assistance. When should they recognize or start reaching out to build this future for their student?
I would recommend when they're freshmen in high school. And individuals with disabilities, luckily, can go to school until they're 21. But I would start the process, right when they start high school. The waiver list can be extremely long. And I work with the local IUs, intermediate units, and with the school districts. And, parents call me a lot for information, so I absolutely do not mind, helping families and pointing them in the right direction.
Once again, we're talking with Allyson from Community Options. Allyson, who would qualify for assistance or training and help from Community Options?
So if somebody has a primary diagnosis of intellectual disabilities, most of our folks have, that primary diagnosis and then may have diagnoses such as autism or some mental health diagnoses. Those are the people that qualify for our services.
Will a client of yours typically find work in the community?
Absolutely. We have, I don't know if you're familiar with Biddy and Bose, but one of our individuals works there. She also works at Wawa. We have another individual who works at Burlington Coat Factory, and we just started supportive employment services last August. So we can also assist individuals in volunteering, getting to know what it is that they want to do. That's the first step. And then providing supportive employment services like job coaching to ensure that they're successful.
So if we have any business owners out there, because I know we do, and they would like to get involved with your company, is that possible?
Absolutely.
And how do they do that?
They can just contact me and I can point them in the right direction.
Is there a training session for the businesses, or do you provide the training? How does that work?
Well, our employment services would be working directly with the business and, just figuring out, times for them to come in to provide job coaching, et cetera.
Okay, so one of the fundraisers you do every year is the Cupids Chase 5K Run. Tell us about that.
Well, our Cupids Chase 5K, we've been holding it every year. Honestly, I believe since 1989 when we first started services. And the reason why we hold it in February is because that's when community options first began in 1989, like I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So the race this year is at the SteelStacks, and it's on February 11th. The race starts at 10 a.m., but registration can start as early as 8 a.m. There's also a website where people can register if they just go to comop.org. It's COMOP.org. And they pick the state, because like I said, we operate in 11 states. And then just find your local Cupid's Chase run in Bethlehem.
For our serious runners out there, this is an event with timing chips. This is well done, and also you get a shirt that's pretty interesting. Tell us about the shirt.
Well, I just wanted to mention that the course is a USA track and field certified course.
Yes.
So it is good for serious runners who want to track their time, but it's also good for people who just want to walk, wheel. It's a dog-friendly event, children-friendly event. But the T-shirts, because this is a Valentine's Day themed race,
right?
The T-shirts, you have to choose when you register if you're available or unavailable. So who knows? Maybe you could even find a match.
That's right. If you register in time, you can get a shirt that says if you're available or unavailable on Valentine's Day. It's really cute. It's a great idea. If somebody wants to, once again, learn more about community options, your website?
Yes, it's comop.org, COMOP.org.
And there is a link to the Cupid's Chase run on that?
Yes, there is.
Allyson Pors-Boitz, thank you for being on Every Main Street.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
That's Community Options. Check them out. You know how to do it. And help them out and get on that Cupid's Chase run. I'm your host, Greg Capogna, and you are listening to WDIY 88.1 FM. Have a great evening.